Factair's F4504 multi-air tester is designed to provide a quick and easy method to carry out accurate periodic testing of compressed air systems. These include a range of breathing, dental, medical, and surgical air standards. This video demonstrates the key features of this easy-to-use instrument when testing a medical air supply. For those standards requiring a visual particle test, this needs to be completed separately. If required, a simple flow meter, stopwatch, and filter media test set can be provided. The F4504 is designed primarily for use on airline systems up to 10 bar, but can also test higher pressure systems when used in conjunction with either the F3002 or F3005 regulators, which are available from Factair. The F4504 has a color touchscreen display and is supplied in a hard weatherproof case with storage provision for a wide range of accessories and equipment. It's primarily designed to be used from within the case. However, the tester can also be removed and operated separately where space is at a premium. F4504 multi-air testers are fitted with internal lithium rechargeable batteries, and in addition also have a battery tray which accommodates 6 AA batteries packed separately. In the event that the rechargeable batteries are not sufficiently recharged, then you can continue to use the instrument with either the alkaline AA batteries or from a mains power supply. The alkaline AA batteries must be installed with the unit turned off, and it's important to strictly observe polarity and ensure that they are correctly located. If the tester is to be used adjacent to a power socket, the mains adapter may be used. Please note that the unit should be switched off prior to connection or disconnection from the main supply. Depending on which standard is selected, the test is carried out using a built-in electronic dew point meter for moisture, electrochemical sensor for oxygen, and either Draeger impactor or tube for oil. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrous fumes, sulfur dioxide, and VOCs are tested using Draeger chemical reagent tubes. These are supplied in packs of 10 per type and show the degree of contaminant present as a color change to the crystals that they contain. The extent of this is read against the scale on the tube. For the impactor, the degree of oil contamination is displayed on a screen. To carry out a test, first switch on the machine by pressing and holding the on button, which is on the right-hand side of the unit, for approximately 3 seconds. The display will show the serial number, date last calibrated, and whether it's within the recommended calibration period. Press the arrow key to progress to the main menu. To change the default settings, such as the test standard, date, time, language, and units of measure, enter the configuration menu. To carry out a test, press the Begin Test button. The unit will then automatically calibrate the oxygen cell against the surrounding atmosphere. The unit therefore needs to be in a well-ventilated area. You now have the option of entering a description for the test location. If you wish to use numbers, press the Function button. Push the right arrow button when you're ready to proceed. The F4504 can test for the presence of oil using the original oil chemical reagent tube or the impactor. The impactor has the advantage of not containing any hazardous chemicals. It detects all mineral and synthetic oils and clearly determines oil aerosol concentration levels. This training video is based on using the impactor. This detects oil aerosols only and has a fixed test time. If you wish to measure both oil aerosols and vapors, then the Draeger oil tube is available. With the oil tube, it's important to establish which compressor oil is being used. Factair published test times for a comprehensive range of different compressor oils to match the detection threshold at both 0.1 and 0.5 milligrams per cubic meter. When checking an airline system, ensure that the flow control valve is fully closed and then connect to the air supply to be tested. Fit the appropriate adapter to the tester first and then connect the supply hose to the adapter. Please note that a test can be carried out at any pressure between 2 and 10 bar. If the unit is overpressurized, it will automatically shut down and display an overpressure warning. It will then need to be returned to the manufacturer for checking and resetting. Input pressure will be displayed on the gauge. Press the arrow key to proceed. The unit will now commence a 5-minute purge sequence, during which time an airflow will be passed through all 6 ports. This clears contaminants from previous tests and ensures that a representative sample is being tested. Once the purge has finished, the Draeger tubes can be prepared for insertion. Remove both ends using the cutter provided. This ensures a clean cut is made and that glass fragments do not fall into the tube ports. The Draeger tube tip cutter has 3 cutting blades. Insert the tube into the hole and gently rotate. Then rotate the tube to the side to break the tip. The tube tip will be retained within the cutter for later disposal. As each tube is prepared, it should be inserted into the relevant gland with the arrow pointing away from the unit and tightened firmly. The impactor should be inserted into the oil port. Make sure the impactor has an intact protective seal. This seal must remain in place for the duration of the test. Once the tubes and impactor have been inserted, press the arrow key to start the test. The duration will be displayed as a countdown, together with airline temperature, ambient temperature, oxygen content, and pressure. For medical, surgical, and dental systems, the flow control valve would normally be closed unless you want to test under the same conditions as it would normally be operating. In which case, set the flow control valve to match typical demand requirements. The status of the individual tests is indicated on the display. The clock symbols indicate tests are active and ticks that tests are complete. The unit can be left until the test time has elapsed. Once the test is complete, the readings from the tubes and impactor can now be entered. Instructions on reading detector tubes and their safe disposal can be found in the documentation wallet. Remove the impactor and peel off the protective seal. The impactor incorporates a series of 3 horizontal rows of nozzles. Any oil present in the air sample in an aerosol form and greater than a concentration level of 0.05 mg per cubic meter will be deposited on the display screen as a series of small dots. Each of the 3 rows has a different distance between nozzles and their spacing is calibrated to represent different concentration levels of oil. 0.1, 0.5 and 1 mg per cubic meter. When the dots on each row form into a continuous line, then it identifies that the concentration levels for that line have been exceeded. For this particular test, there are no dots present, so the oil concentration level is less than 0.05 mg per cubic meter. As the maximum permissible concentration level in medical and surgical air is 0.1 mg per cubic meter, we know for this test it is a pass, for aerosol only, not including vapor. The following pictures, however, are examples of tests where there has been oil present. The first picture shows dots present on each of the 3 rows, but as you can see, none of the 3 rows have joined into a continuous line. So we know the oil aerosol concentration level present is greater than 0.05, but less than 0.1 mg per cubic meter. On this second picture, the bottom row of dots have formed into a continuous lines, but the middle and top rows are still individual dots. Therefore, the concentration level for this test is greater than 0.1 but less than 0.5 mg per cubic meter. On this third picture, both the bottom and middle row have formed into continuous lines. Therefore, the concentration is greater than 0.5 but less than 1 mg per cubic meter. On this final picture, on 3 rows have formed continuous lines, and the oil aerosol concentration level is now in excess of 1 mg per cubic meter. To enter the readings from the chemical reagent tubes, remove them from the test port and press their corresponding button on the instrument and input the reading. As each reading has been entered, their input box will turn green. Once all results have been entered, press the right-hand arrow key to proceed. When you proceed beyond this point, the results cannot be altered. Spent tubes should be placed in the container provided for disposal in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions when convenient. The test complete screen automatically determines whether the test was a pass or fail against the standard you selected, and displays all the measurements recorded during the test. This includes the readings from the electronic dew point meter, electrochemical oxygen sensor, flow meter, and ambient temperature sensor. If the test was a fail, exclamation marks would be indicating those criteria which did not meet the selected standard. This test result is automatically recorded in the instrument's memory, which can store up to 20 previous tests. To view these tests, return to the main menu and press the Review Tests button. Test results are stored accordingly to the date and time they were completed. From this menu, previous tests can be viewed or deleted as required. To disconnect the tester from the system, make sure you leave the inlet adapter on the instrument and only disconnect at the end of the hose supply. The adapter can then be disconnected afterwards if required. To turn the unit off, return to the main menu and press the power key in the top right corner.